Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Herringbrook Farm Kitchen. It is fantastic to have you here, as always, and today we're going to make the most incredible, super soft, Japanese-style white rolls. You're going to love it. Okay, let's talk about these incredible rolls. Look at that inside, absolutely stunning. They are soft, they smell amazing. So they're kind of a Japanese style, soft white roll, perfect for pulled pork or any other kind of savoury snack. They're slightly sweet, absolutely delicious. Let's jump in and look at the ingredients. Okay, so the first thing we need to do to make these rolls incredibly soft is we need to make, and I'm going to pronounce this wrong inevitably, a Tangzhong, which is basically a Japanese mixture of flour and water that we're going to cook and we're going to allow to cool, that we'll put into the bread later on. So I have got 35 grams of normal strong white flour in there on the stove in a saucepan, and I'm going in with 145 grams of water, and I'm going to turn that on to a medium heat, and just using a little whisk I'm going to combine that, and basically I need to cook this until it thickens, which will take a minute or two. Not very long because there's not a huge volume in here, but at the moment, as you can see, it's just looking kind of milky, just starting to thicken now. Yeah, that's thickening beautifully now. It's kind of like a roux. There we go, you can see it goes slightly translucent and quite gelatinous, and that's how we want it. Turn it down now. There we are, almost there. That's it, we're done. Mind that out of the way. Certainly don't want to overcook this. It's a little bit stuck in the whisk. We'll soon clean that off. And then just using a spatula or a spoonula, just scrape that into a clean bowl. Lovely, gloopy mixture. There we go, beautiful. Excuse fingers. Okay, I'm just going to leave this now to cool down on the work surface for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then we'll incorporate it into the dough. So if you can give me an hour, I'll come back, I'll show you all of the rest of the ingredients, and we'll get on and mix this incredible Japanese bread, which you are going to love. See you shortly. Okay, let's talk about the ingredients we're going to need for this amazing, soft, delicious bread that we're going to make today. You're going to need 350 grams of strong white flour, all of the Tangzhong that we made earlier, 70 grams, quite a lot, 70 grams of caster sugar. We've got 10 grams of sea salt. We've got 8 grams of osmotolerant yeast. So instead of using fresh baker's yeast, this is a very rich dough. We're going to use this, which is Saf Instant, which has got a better resilience against all that sweetness. We've got 190 millilitres, 190 grams of milk, 45 grams of butter, cubed, which will go in at the end, and you're going to need 2 eggs. 1 egg's going to go into the mixture, and the second egg we're going to use right at the end just to glaze the top before we put it into the oven. So let's jump in and get all of these combined. Okay, so I'm going to combine all of this in the bowl of the stand mixer. I'm going to go in with all of that flour, in fact all of the dry ingredients, the sugar, the salt. I'll just give that a little stir so I'm not dropping the yeast straight on top of the salt, and then in with that dried yeast and stir that to combine it. Then we can go in with the Tangzhong, if I can get the cling film off. Just scrape that in, lovely gloopy mess, that should go in as one nice little lump like that. Amazing stuff. And then finally we've got the milk here. What I tend to do is just crack the egg into there, give that a bit of a whisk up, and then pour that in. Fabulous. I'm going to put this on the stand mixer. You know the routine by now. 2 minutes on a slow speed with the dough hook just to get it combined. then we'll turn it up to a faster speed for 7 minutes, and then finally, once that's done, we'll go in with the butter. Okay, so it's come together beautifully now, very sticky as you can see, really wet dough. Just giving it a quick scrape down. So about 3 minutes in, going on a slightly faster speed than usual. If you look at it, you can see it looks like it's never going to come together, but it always does. We'll give it another 3 or 4 minutes until that's formed a ball, and then we can go in with the butter. I'm going to go in with the butter now, not all of it, about half of it, 4 cubes, and we'll just let that mix. Turn it down slightly now onto a medium fast speed. It will take a while to get all this butter incorporated, but we've got plenty of time. Okay, so that took about 10 minutes to get all of that butter in. It really doesn't like mixing, but it does go in eventually if you're patient. So we're about ready to get this turned out. Okay, that was fun, super sticky, lots of butter in there. It's going to be absolutely delicious. So I'm obviously not going to try and turn this out on the worktop. I'm just going to literally pour it, is probably the best way to describe it, into this bowl, and then just scrape in the last bits. It honestly looks like this isn't going to make bread, but I can assure you, when you get to the stage of turning it out, you will be amazed what that yeast is going to do. So we're going to cover this with cling film. We're going to sit it on the side a couple of hours. It's a warm day today, so it might be an hour and a half, and then we'll get it turned out and shaped. See you shortly. Okay, 2 hours has passed. Looks absolutely amazing. Give it a little wobble. Look at that. So what we're going to do now is turn it out and get it shaped into some balls. So it will still be quite sticky, but nothing to fear for you intrepid bakers. What we want to do is get plenty of flour down on the work surface, and we'll start by getting it turned out. Ooh la la, it is a sticky one. Okay, so just make sure that you have got plenty of flour down, and use your scraper to make sure that it doesn't get stuck to the table, and if necessary, more flour. Doesn't matter about having additional flour at this stage because the flour will not incorporate. So I'm going to use my scale and see I can handle it now. Whoops. So what have we got there? 835 grams. So I want to divide this into 9. So 835 divided by 9. So I'm looking for about 90 grams for each little ball. So we just cut away well under. There we go. So I'm just going to get on with this quietly and we'll speed this up afterwards. Got a square loaf tin here which I've just oiled, and I am carefully going to transfer these in. Don't be worried about using a scraper to help. What we're going to end up with is all of these batched together beautifully, and it will just be the most amazing. Always a slight worry at this stage to make sure you've done the right number. Look a bit awkward if I'd only done 8. So just get them nice and equidistant. Happy days. And we'll just go over the top, tiny bit of flour. So there we go, absolutely fantastic. We're going to cover these with a cloth rather than cling film. We're going to let them really puff up, batch up for another hour, maybe an hour and a half, and then we'll get them in the oven. I'll see you shortly. Okay, so it's had about an hour and a half proving. Let's take a look under the cloth. Wow. Look at that, absolutely beautiful. puffed up, risen, still looking lovely and soft. And just look at the colour of that egg yolk as well, absolutely amazing. Right, I'm just going to give the egg wash a little whisk up with my tiny little whisk. There we go, beautiful. So very gently, I'm going to just wash the top of these rolls, which will give them a beautiful dark brown, shiny coat when they come out. Fabulous. Right, the oven's been preheating, 200 degrees, let's get it in. So we're straight into the middle of the oven. I'm going to give it one hit of steam, and then I'm going to turn it down to a 180. And we're going to bake these for about 20 to 22 minutes. Because of the egg wash, we need to keep an eye on them. We don't want them to burn. So I'll see you when they're baked. Wow. Look at that. Beautiful, dark chestnut brown on top. Looks absolutely amazing. So we are just going to leave that in the tin briefly, just to cool down slightly. And then in 5 minutes, we'll get it out and leave it to cool on the rack for probably an hour or two, and then we'll prise them apart and take a look. I cannot wait. It looks absolutely incredible. Okay, that's it, we're done. They've cooled down beautifully, and if we tear open here, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. They smell amazing. Beautiful soft white rolls, lovely chestnut shiny exterior. These are going to be absolutely delicious. You are going to absolutely love them. So I hope you've enjoyed following along with us today. If you have, give us a subscribe, hit the like button, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one. Have a great day.